So if you're looking to find out about the different types of jobs that they have as far as entry level, if you're a younger guy and you want to work hard, you don't mind working long hours, day shift, night shift, and you don't mind getting yelled at and put in your place, or if you fuck up, getting your ass chewed out, then I would recommend going and working on a rig. I did it for a little bit. It wasn't for me, to be honest. I don't want to elaborate on the situation just because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Because the oil field is very, at least for me, you don't snitch. You don't, you know, if somebody's doing something you don't agree with, there's plenty of money out here. You don't have to stick around. And that was my situation. Was people were doing certain things that I didn't agree with, and my safety is number one. I have to go home the same way I came in, and I felt like where I was, anything could happen due to the lack of due to a lot of due to lack of a lot of things. Let's just say that. However, there are some good companies out there. The safety has changed a lot from what I've seen and heard over the years. Most companies aren't throwing chains or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about losing a finger or an arm to some chains. You still got to worry about other shit, especially depending on where you're at. But for the most part, that's where I would start off. If I was 18, I would definitely do that. Work on the rig, build my strength up, learn as much as I can, and connect with people. Because one thing out here is like you connect with people, especially you're working on the same job with the same person for 2 to 3 weeks at a time. 12 to 14. Sometimes I worked up to 20 hours a day, and you just build uh, like a brotherly love for one another out here. So I would definitely start out on the rigs and learn, and definitely have some thick skin while you're there, because you will fuck up, and they will tell you. That's for damn sure. Another job, if you have your CDL, would be water hauler. Entry job, lots of hours, lots of overtime, and that's pretty much how you make your money out here. Is with the overtime. A lot of places they may start you off at like shit. I've seen wages as low as $15, $16 an hour, and I've also seen them all the way up to 30 to 40 to 50 to damn near 75 an hour. So it really just depends on your experience. Who you know is key as well. I'm not going to bullshit you. Who you know is key. Um, so treat everyone with respect, and most of the time you'll get respect back. But always treat everyone with respect, because you never know when you may need that person, or you may be working for that person, and or who his father is. So definitely want to not come in here and start trying to act like you run shit, because you will get told otherwise. Put it that way. So another job if you have a CDL would be hauling sand. Now, I recommend, if you're just getting into the oil field, uh, company positions. And the reason why I say company positions is because uh, I was living in Pennsylvania at the time. Me and an old friend of mine used his truck, and we drove from Pennsylvania to Oklahoma on a promise that we were going to make, X amount of money per week. We were going to be able to run the truck 24/7. They had all these crazy sand loads, and we were going to be fucking rolling in the money. Well, that wasn't the case. We drove all the way out there and pretty much sat for about a week, maybe a little bit longer, before we even got our first load. Now, mind you, we did all of our paperwork, everything before we even got out there. And we may have even done our drug test before we got out there. But I know we had to pay for different certifications to work out there. We had to get PEC, and also we had to get a Safe Land H2S certification as well. And We spent all this money getting these certifications and getting the truck ready and putting tires on the truck and, doing all this shit just to get out there and sit for a week. Luckily they paid for a hotel because it was hot as shit. I wasn't trying to sit in that. I ain't trying to sit in a truck with another grown ass man smelling his balls, 24/7 for a week, and we not making no fucking money. Like team driving is rough. So to sit for a week, not make any money, you got to eat, you know. Luckily they paid for a hotel, so that was a lifesaver. But we did maybe a few loads and we saw the pay and it wasn't at all what they said it was going to be, and then we just fucking turned around and left. Um, and we ended up finding out that company did that to a lot of people. So that's why I say get in as a company driver, learn the company, see who's full of shit, see who's not full of shit, and then if you feel like okay, this is something I could bring my truck over to, then try to work it out and go that route. And if you find somebody, let me know because I got a truck just sitting in Oklahoma right now that's fully paid off and ain't no fucking money out here. The rates are too low, the fuel is too high, the parts are too high. It's not enough to justify me being an owner operator in 2025. Um, and then just the whole frustration of it, it's more than just driving a truck when you're an owner operator. You got to pay your taxes, you got to fix the truck, you got to clean the truck. Everything is all on you. So for me, I'd rather make 2-3 grand a week and just drive the motherfucker, or not even drive the motherfucker. Like do something else, work for a company, because right now that's where the money's at. Um, as far as I know, I haven't been in the trucking industry in a while because I got out of it because it just was shit. But like I said, if things are changing, please let me know because I'll be going there once this oil thing calms down and there's no work. Then I might go back. However, I've done port driving at the Philly ports. I did flatbed. I did reefer. I did dry van, and I did hot shot. And the money just ain't there. So that's that. So we covered the different types of jobs. There's a lot more other jobs out there for entry level. With no experience, no CDL, you could probably get into water transfer. I know they're looking for guys right now out in Ohio. Um, they definitely are looking for people in Ohio for water transfer. And with that job, you're going to be working at least 6 weeks straight, no days off. And you're going to be outside, most of the time. You'll be in the truck, but you will have to go outside and turn the pumps on and, rig up, rig down, things like that. When I say rig up and rig down, what that means is basically you're setting up the whatever your job is. You're setting up all the hoses, all the equipment, maintenance, things like that, and getting ready to start in the process of whatever it may be. So, like I did pump down in Texas, and right now I'm doing chems out here in Ohio. So, rig up, rig down is basically just like setting up your equipment, parking your trailers, cleaning everything, getting it ready for the job. And then once the job takes off, it's pretty much, especially on the frac side, it's chill. So depending on which job you have, but for the most part, it's chill. Um, the fracs take about 2 to 3 hours, depending on where they're at, and if they have pressure issues and things like that. So there's definitely some downtime. Some people will go crazy, but you kind of get used to it. You know, this job I'm on, the type of job that I'm doing right now is about 6 weeks at a time, and it's straight nights, no days off. But the company pays for my hotel. I cook in the hotel, so I save a lot of money, and I like it. I got a nice little trailer in here. I got a monitor that I purchased with my money. I set that up hook up to my laptop. I have a mini fridge in here. I have a microwave right behind me. My girl cooks, so she'll just cook and I'll bring it to work, heat it up, or put it in the fridge for tomorrow, or whatever the case is. I got heat, I got AC, I got no fucking complaints. Um, but every job is different out here. Now, like I said, with the water transfer, you're going to be most likely sitting in a truck. Once everything's rigged up and in place, you're going to go ahead and when they call out on the radio, they're going to tell you, turn your pumps on. And then you get out, you turn your pumps on. And then also you have, depending on which part of water transfer you're doing, there's different pumps. And then they have these tanks that you have to fill up with the water. And you have to maintain certain levels of water in there. And then if you don't have water, then that's a big fucking problem. Or if you have too much water, that can be a big fucking problem too. If you overflow the tanks and shit. And then you also have issues with your lines. Sometimes people fucking run over the fucking giant fucking 2-foot water line in the middle of the fucking pad or on the side of coming into the pad. Somehow fucking truckers and fucking people hit them. I've almost hit one, so I can't talk too much shit, but it definitely happens. So like I said, if you got a CDL, you're going to probably start off higher, probably doing a little bit less labor. You probably will have to swing a hammer, know how to use some basic tools. But don't come out here if you're fucking lazy, bro. Like, don't fucking do that shit. If you're going to come out here, just come out here knowing that you're going to have to work. There is downtime, there is chill time, but when it's time to work, put that fucking work in, bro. Don't come out here and be one of them fucking hands that just drags his fucking nuts everywhere. Because that shit is infuriating to the people that are out here actually busting their ass. What to expect? Expect to get paid for what you're worth. If you don't know shit, you're not going to make shit. You're still going to make more money than you would probably working at Walmart or working at Target or wherever the fuck. But if you don't know shit, you're labor, your cheap labor is what it is. You're going to make your money on your overtime and you're going to make your money on your per diem. So, try to calculate it and figure out what's right for you. And just do the job the best you can. And you will move up. People are always quitting and companies typically, depends what's going on, but they will be hiring. Especially on the rigs, they're always fucking hiring. They do have hiring freezes, typically around January to February, and then it usually picks back up. What not to expect? Well, let me touch on what to expect again. So, what to expect? So, for me, I moved from Jersey to West Texas, Midland area, and it was night and day. I thought I expected certain things, and it was the complete opposite, and it was actually for the better. One thing, depending on where you're at, if you're in West Texas or you're in New Mexico, I will warn you, there is fucking rattlesnakes. That's a thing. Scorpions, that's another fucking thing. And just always keep your head on a swivel when you're out there. You're kind of new. You don't know what's what. You're trying to make sense of all of it. At least I was. I was trying to figure out, well, what does that do? 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 And pretty much everything out here can kill you if you're not careful. So always, man, always watch where you're walking. Hard hat ain't really gonna do shit for you, except keep you from bumping your head on a trailer like I do every day when I walk underneath the fucking gooseneck. But yeah, just don't open anything that you're not supposed to open, or if you're not sure, ask. Always ask. It's always better to ask. You don't want to be that guy that fucking gets hurt real bad for assuming that you're supposed to do something. Always ask in the beginning. Always, always, always ask and confirm. Prime example is hoses. If they have pressure on them, you don't want to hammer them loose. It's a recipe for disaster. So always make sure, if you're going to take something off, ask someone, is this what we're going to be doing? Is this how we're going to be doing it? And try to learn first what the hazards are. And pretty much, if you're with a good crew, they're gonna look out for one another, and they'll also have like safety meetings on certain shit. Um, and basically, you'll talk about your area or whatever your job is and what the hazards and risks are and how to mitigate those risks. So we cover different types of jobs. We got water hauler, we got sand hauler for the CDL guys. Frack is a good one. You're going to be swinging a hammer. You're going to be lifting heavy shit. Rig up, rig down days. I'm sure our motherfucker. You have pump down operators, which is similar to frack, except they are on the opposite side, typically of location. But it's very similar setup. They use frack pumps. They pump water. They pump acid. They basically pump the wire line down the hole. Then you have wireline, which from what I found is very hard to get into, especially if you're new and you don't know anybody. What else? Oh, you got sand. So they got different positions in sand. So if you have a CDL, you could be a sand hauler. If you don't have a CDL, you could be sand coordinator. And basically what you do is you coordinate all the sand trucks coming in and off location. And basically you help manage all the sand that comes in. And typically it's around 1 million pounds of sand per 24 hours. Another thing out here is they don't care about holidays. And this operation, they want to run 24/7. So if you need to be, home for birthdays or holidays or whatever, don't fucking come out here because it won't happen. This is a $1 billion business, if not $1 trillion business. So everyone out here is here to make money, whether it's Christmas, whether it's New Year's, whether it's your kid's birthday. Unfortunately, we can't just up and pause everything and go home for whatever the case is. Always bring an extra set of clothes to location is always a good practice, because in case you get wet, or if you get chemicals on you, or if you rip your fucking jeans, you might want to change your fucking jeans or your coveralls. Or one I've heard is guys taking a shit in the porta potty, and they take the coveralls off, and an arm of the coverall falls in the porta potty. I can imagine that I would just cut it off, I guess, or just throw the whole fucking coveralls out. But yeah, there's that. So as far as like background checks and all that, it depends on the company, it depends on who you know. But typically, if you have a felony, you could still get hired. I've seen guys come home after doing 15 years and work harder than all the other motherfuckers that haven't been in jail or prison. So, yeah, you want to have a license though. You don't want to come out here without a license, because it's just limiting yourself more and more and more. Get your license handled and figure that out before you come out here. It's just best practice. Oh, here's another one. Have a reliable vehicle. So I drive a 2009 Toyota Camry with 230,000 miles on it. It's a great fucking car. I've recently put tires on it, brakes on it, fuel pump, maintenance, all types of shit. But it's still got 230,000 miles on it. And intermittently, it just decides to take a shit one day at work, and I'm stuck. My hotel's an hour away, and I can't just borrow a car out here. So you'll want to make sure you have a reliable vehicle getting out here, so you don't have any issues. Some companies provide transportation, so basically you'll drive to like a bunkhouse or man camp or hotel that they'll put you in, and then basically you guys will all ride together, either in a pickup truck or in a 15 passenger van.